and Devonte, I'm not gonna lie, as soon as Devonte was talking about, oh, she was a person of color, I side-eyed so hard because you're black. You're half black. What do you mean? Like, the way he said it, he was like, a person of color. Whoa, calm down, Jamal. What's good, everyone? Welcome back to my channel. It's Tiara, and for those who are new, welcome. So today we're gonna be talking about Love is Blind. I've only done one video of Love is Blind on my channel, and I feel like now that I finished season 10, I really hope you guys are up to speed with the season because there's just so much I have to say. So if you haven't watched it yet and you want to watch it first, go ahead and do that, but I'm just letting you know right now, there's gonna be spoilers. I know in the last Love is Blind video, I did like a reaction type of video, but I can't do that for every single episode because we're gonna be here for like 10 hours. So I'm just gonna kind of give like a recap of my thoughts, and I want to know your thoughts too. But y'all know I don't like to keep my intros too long, so let's get straight into the video. For those who don't even know what Love is Blind is, you never watched it, I'm gonna give you a really quick breakdown of how it goes just so you understand what I'm talking about. So basically it's a love experiment to see if people can find love and get married without seeing the person. So phase one is the pods. So this is when all the people are in these trapped up rooms talking to each other through a wall, like literally through a wall. So they're having all these conversations, but they cannot see the person, and the whole point is for them to determine, is this the person I want to get engaged to? It can get kind of tricky because people are talking to multiple people. There are some ops in the room, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a lot going on. So then once the engagements happen, like, that's when they do the reveal. They get to see each other. We kind of get a feel like, are they feeling them? Like, are they physically attracted? Because obviously the whole point is to wipe away that physical attraction, but like, we're not gonna lie, I'm just gonna say it, they gotta look good. Like, I'm sorry, like, I think you need to be somewhat physically attracted to somebody for it to work. That's just my opinion. After they see each other, then they go to the next phase, which is like the honeymoon phase, which is not really honeymoon because they're not married, but they basically all go out to like vacation. Usually it's in Mexico. So this kind of tests like the physical. So like, we already know they align emotionally because duh, they're engaged. Now it's the physical. The next phase is living with each other. So they live with each other for like maybe a couple weeks. I don't really know the timeline. From what I understand, this whole process takes like a month, I think. So I'm just saying like a week. They live with each other. They meet each other's families, all that kind of stuff, like experiencing the real world. And then boom, they go to the wedding, they go to the altar, and they decide, do you want to marry this person? Yes or no. So that's just a really quick breakdown of what the show is about. Let's get into the first contestant, Tyler. Tyler unfortunately did not make it at the pods, but there's a whole twist going on in the pods. I probably have the unpopular opinion, but let me just give you a quick rundown of what went on. So there's Tyler, and she's talking to Kevin, but Kevin is also talking to Kia. Literally in the first episode, I thought Tyler and Kevin were the one. Like, I was really rooting for them because I just felt like their conversations were deep, like they're just into it, and I'm just like, I'm just feeling it. Kia was cool, don't get me wrong, but I just didn't feel like their conversations were to the same level, right? But then episode 2 comes. This is where my unpopular opinion comes in. I think Tyler was just doing too much. Like, she was really getting on Kevin for not choosing a person. Like, first she was upset because he had other connections. The whole point is having connections and trying to find the one. Like, you can't just talk to one person, bro. You gotta have your options. So she was already tripping about that, and then she's like, oh, I'm not gonna do this again. Like, she was basically like being kind of rude to him. In my opinion, I feel like she was doing a little bit too much. So then that's where I switched. I'm like, bro, like, just go to Kia. Like, that's your girl. But she was like in the pods, like telling everybody the whole situation, like, oh, he's mine, he shouldn't be talking to anybody else. This is paraphrasing, by the way. It's been a minute since I've seen the episode. But she was just doing the most. She forces this man to ask her to be his girlfriend, like pressured him basically. And then she just says, I don't want to be with you. You did all of that. Force this man to be your boyfriend just for you to say no. I was irritated. So then he moves to Kia because obviously that's his last option. And he says, I want to be with you forever. Like, you're the one. Sir, like, I get you, but you already asked this girl to be your girlfriend. Like, what makes you think she's gonna say yes? And you know girls talk. Like, come on now. You don't think she knows what's going down with Tyler? Come on. He basically proposes this idea to like be with each other forever, all that, and she chooses herself. She says no, which was sad because they should have been together. They should have, but he messed up. Like, he needs to be decisive. That's the issue. Kevin was not decisive. So that's my opinion on that love triangle. Vic and Christine. I already knew from the jump that they're gonna get married. I already knew it. Spoiler alert, they did. I called it from the jump because you could tell by their conversations it was just gonna work. Like they were talking about faith, they were talking about their families. You could tell they're really into it. There wasn't too much physical conversation, which in my opinion, I feel like there shouldn't be really any conversations regarding the physical in the pods. That kind of defeats the purpose. But you could just tell it was genuine. I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of curious what it was gonna be like during the reveal on Christine's side, because Vic did say that he's dated a lot of girls from different backgrounds. So I know that he was accustomed to dating different kind of girls, but I couldn't really tell with Christine if she did the same. So I was like, but then at the same time, it's like you're talking to him, you can hear him, you know that man is black. Like, come on, like, don't be dumb, you know what I'm saying? But it worked out. The physical connection worked out. One thing I do want to ask, like, the Love is Blind crew, like the producers, why did y'all send them to a different place? Like, why were they in Malibu and everybody else is in Mexico? That did not make any sense. And I initially thought that maybe one of them didn't have their passports or something. But then I saw Christine's TikTok and she was like, it wasn't the passports. And then I'm like, okay, well, maybe it's because they both got arrested in the past because they brought that up in the pods. And she said it wasn't about that either. So it's like, what's the secret? Like, why are we being so mysterious? Just tell us. So hopefully we get some kind of answers in the reunion, because I feel like that was just bypassed. Like, also, by the way, as I'm filming like right now, the reunion has not come out yet. So I think by the time I post this, the reunion might be out. So take this with a grain of salt. I might get some of this answered, but I have not watched it yet. So please keep that in mind as I'm giving my opinion. Alex and Ashley. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't think it was gonna work out from the pods because, and I said this when I made my video on Instagram, they were too physical in the pods. Like, bro, where's the deep conversations? Literally, when they got in the pods, at least from what we saw, all they were talking about was, oh, are you the big spoon? Are you the little spoon? Oh, touchy-feely, this and that. Like, sir, the whole point is to talk to each other on an emotional level. And you're talking about all this touchy-feely stuff. Like, bro, that's not the point. So for me, that's a red flag. Like, if you can't talk about anything else but the sexual stuff, I don't think it's gonna work, in my opinion. And spoiler alert, it didn't. And I'll get to that in a second because I have some feelings about that wedding. Another thing I'll say, I did think Alex was a red flag. And here's why. He was making his athletic history, like his soccer history, as his entire personality. I understand you played soccer all your life, you got hurt and you couldn't do it anymore. But I feel like that's all you talked about. Like, what else about you is there? You know what I'm saying? Like, all you talk about is soccer. And for me, I just feel like that's a red flag because no shade to athletes. But I feel like athletes just make that their whole personality. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. That's just my opinion. Another thing I called in the pods was I didn't think he was going to be fully physically into Ashley. Not because there's anything wrong with her looks. Like, she's obviously gorgeous. Like, come on now. But just the way he was just talking, like, I kind of pictured that he was into darker features, which is crazy because that's exactly what he said. So when they first saw each other, I was kind of trying to see, like, is he feeling her? I was right though, because once they got into the real world, he was telling her, like, you know, I'm used to dark features. You're not typically the type of girl I would go for, which is like, okay, I guess. But the problem I was having was when they were in Mexico, he was doing too much with Britney. Why are you asking her about her relationship problems? And why are you telling her that you wouldn't necessarily go for your girl? Like, that's just weird. But then my mindset about this couple completely shifted at the wedding. I'm just disappointed in Ashley because she didn't handle it well. Literally, the officiator or the officiant asked Alex, do you take her to be your wife? Whatever they asked, right? And before he could even answer, she's like, I already know you're gonna say no, so I'm gonna let you know that I don't choose you either. He didn't even get to say anything. And she didn't even just stop there. She continued. So yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I felt bad for Alex. I don't think she should have done all that. I think it was a little much, in my opinion. Britney and Devonte, I'm not gonna lie, as soon as Devonte was talking about, oh, she was a person of color, I side-eyed so hard because you're black. You're half black. What do you mean? Like, the way he said it, he was like, a person of color. Whoa, calm down, Jamal. He clearly was not attracted to her. I feel bad for Britney because she just kept trying to make it work. Like, I wish I could talk to her through the TV like, girl, that man is not interested. Like, please don't waste your time or your emotions. I know one thing he did say in the pause was that one of his family members passed. So I'm like, oh, dang. He decided to continue with the experiment. So, like, I was trying to give him grace there, but then you could just tell over time he was not feeling her. Fast forward to the wedding. They didn't even get married. But Britney's still like, we're still engaged. We're still gonna make this work. And he's talking about, I'll keep in touch. Please, stand up. I just feel bad for the girl. I'm not gonna lie. That's all I gotta say about them. Briana and Connor. She disappointed me in Mexico. You got your man, right? You're engaged. I understand you had multiple connections in the pods, but she was genuinely frustrated that no one else, none of the other fiancés wanted to talk to each other about their other connections. Why would you do that? Like, why would you expect anybody to indulge in those kind of conversations? You're engaged. And I understand, well, no, I don't understand, but I can understand the concept of having a very different kind of experiment. Like, this is not normal, but you're engaged. You don't go and talk to other people and other men about the conversations that you had, or better yet, the connections that you had. Like, that's just not the time for that. You know what I'm saying? I feel like it's similar to getting engaged and talking to your ex, because that's kind of like what that is. So that was one thing. Connor wasn't having that, which I was proud of. But then fast forward, she does end up having a conversation with her other connection in the pods. So her other connection was Chris, right? And she was like talking to him or whatever after the fact, which I didn't necessarily agree with, but the conversation seemed fine. He wasn't engaging, cool, whatever. So Chris, who was Briana's other connection in the pods, who she's not engaged to, is engaged to Jessica. Briana and Chris had a connection in the pods. Didn't work out, clearly. Fast forward, Chris and Jessica, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, end their engagement. Why? Because Chris told Jessica it just doesn't physically work out. He literally told her, oh, I want a girl who does Pilates every day. What? Because why are you acting like she's morbidly obese? She's a doctor, mind you. When is she gonna have time to do that every day? Like, it was just giving me excuses. And I'm sorry, but the red flag for me was when Chris told Jessica that he went out of town with his friend to get a drink and he had to stay there overnight and didn't tell her anything. Boom, red flag. I don't care what you gotta say. That is fishy. So then all of a sudden you come back and you're talking about you're not my type. What? That literally came out of nowhere. And maybe we didn't see certain things because it was off camera, but like that whole thing was just giving me weird vibes. So I just had to sum that up. Chris and Jessica are done. Chris is trying to talk to Briana when they're all together. They bring all the people from the pods together, literally to stir up drama. And he's talking about, oh, like, you're so attractive. Even with your wedding ring on, would you say that I'm attractive? Inappropriate things that you do not say to an engaged person, to a fiance. Like, what is wrong with you? Next couple, Emma and Mike. I'm disappointed because I feel like Emma lied to this man in the pods because her number one did not choose her. Mike was her number two. After she got dumped, she's gonna go tell Mike, I just ended things with my number two. Mind you, her number one was Connor. Why are you lying to this man? So that's already my thoughts. Like, you just over here finessed your engagement, but okay, whatever. I kind of had a feeling that Emma and Mike wouldn't necessarily work because she did make it very clear in the pods that she does not want kids. And then she eventually says she might be open to it, but she's not sure. But Mike was very clear that he does want kids. So there's already a major conflict here. Like, how is it gonna work that he wants kids, you don't? Like, that's a very big decision. So that was really the only issue that they were having, I think. And they ended up not getting married. Mike said no. I don't think Emma was expecting him to say no, but I did. Last couple, Amber and Jordan. I feel like they were perfect for each other. They got married and I kind of like the vibes in the pods because I feel like they're both weird for each other. And I'm not saying that in a bad way. I truly believe everybody's weird, but their type of weird was just so compatible, you know? The only issue is that Amber has a kid and Jordan did not want to be with anybody who has a kid. Like, he literally said in the pods that when he signed up, that was one of his red flags. Not his red flags, but his non-negotiables, but they ended up getting engaged, whatever. But the thing is, Amber didn't want him to meet her child until they got married, which is like, dang, that's a long time. Like, in normal circumstances, I would think that's a little much, but then I had to understand that they're only doing this for like a month. So it kind of speeds up the process. I don't know. I'm not going to really speak on the whole kid thing because I'm not a mother. So I don't really know. I don't know. But I kind of like their vibe. I don't think they had any issues outside of that, but they worked out. So I'm glad they got married. But that's gonna be the end of today's video. I want to thank each and every one of you guys for joining, for watching, for tuning in. Let me know how you like the structure of this video because I know it was very different from the last Love is Blind video. I feel like for the last Love is Blind, I was only able to talk about a small section of the pods. I wanted to be able to talk about my overall thoughts of the season, and I feel like the only way I'd be able to do that is this format. So let me know because I know you guys were asking me to make a video of Love is Blind, so I was trying to make it work. This is my first time doing it, so like, give me some grades, like not too much, not too much. I personally enjoyed it. I know my thoughts were all over the place, but I really hope I explained it in a way for you to understand. And if you haven't watched it, I highly recommend. Like, I love this series, this franchise. It's just so interesting to me. But yeah, if you like this video, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps your girl out. But aside from that, I hope you guys have a great rest of your week. I'll see you on the flip side. T is out.